All right, it's 9 o'clock. So I know that we have more teachers here than we do parents. Roman, I want to thank you for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and start the slideshow. Let me just resume. Slideshow. Basically, I'm here. I'm Jeff Trudeau. I'm the present director. I'm joined by Cam Sabo, the school's first director, Steve, one of our first teachers, and our returning teacher, an AP psychology teacher. He taught the first AP class here, and Yamin, who is our social emotional counselor, can translate into Burmese if other parents join us and have questions. And we just want to share a little bit about college offerings and our high school program. So basically, I'll start with this first one. Universities that recognize advanced placement. Cam, do you want me to say anything about this? Would you like me to click it?
Um, well, there's a lot of recognition internationally. You had the exact number at 580 something universities internationally. It is the most recognized program in the world. It's the largest program in the world. And it's, even though it started in the United States, it truly is recognized throughout every country, and we'll be going through very specific countries and addressing that. And then if there's other countries or a specific university, we can look at the details in terms of their policy.
Okay, and we will send this PowerPoint out to all of our grade 9, 10, 11, 12, along with the YouTube video at the end of the day. All right, what about US universities, Cam? I have something from our college counselors about universities for both people from Burma and also people from other schools in the next slide.
US University obviously accepts AP. Unfortunately, the issue that exists at the moment is the lack of visas for Burmese passports. And so with that,
Oh.
it's a not now as an option when students graduate from Taiwan.
Okay, and not only I know this slide didn't transition well from Google Slides to PowerPoint, but I got this from Alex Ross, who is one of our consulting college counselors. We have three college counselors for our five present students and one former students. And he told me, Jeff, many of in Singapore they do have Burmese students, but even so, their Chinese and Indian students as well are not choosing the US for university for good reasons. It's not just the issue with visas, it's that the colleges of research funding or the collapse of research funding for science in universities. A lot of it came from the US government. The US government's just ending a shutdown, so they weren't providing any money during the shutdown. And in addition, gaining an internship as a foreigner will be harder under this administration. So even without the visa issue, a lot of international students are foregoing the United States at this present time, whether they're AP, IB, or IGCSE. They're just choosing to go to other universities because the one thing that he can guarantee is that if they do go to the US, they will get harassed. They will get their social media accounts checked. They will get stopped at the airport. And part of the visa process now is actually for the United States in countries that grant visas is a social media check of all students' accounts. They paused US visas for a month for the world to figure out how to check students' social media accounts. So it's not a desirable place right now. Cam?
Um, I actually have contact with students from Myanmar, including Talon, and they are not reporting um, problems at the moment. So they're going to school. Some of them are working. In fact, I think they're all working without any real issues. So the media is portraying things as quite bad. On the ground, most people are just going about their business, including the students that are already here.
Okay. All right. So this is presently where our students are applying. There are still some that are applying to the US in the hopes that the visa ban gets lifted. I really hope they're not applying to more than just one or just doing the Common App. But a lot of students, this is word cloud. I took all the choices that I had. I don't know if there's any new additions, but they're looking at the UK, Asia, Canada, US, but sparingly, Japan, Hong Kong, and Australia. There might be more options. We were going to find out yesterday in English class. Steve was going to help me, but Steve got on a roll with something else with his grade 12 students. So we'll find out more. And they have 3 counselors in Japan and Singapore that are actively helping them out. All right, so Cam, if you can talk a little bit about what these 2 acronyms mean, because there's a lot of confusion and misinformation, which is one of the reasons why we're both hosting this meeting and why we're going to put this on YouTube later on today, along with this recording.
The counselors in Yangon were getting together on a regular basis, and I will tell you, we have been complaining about the private counselors and the misinformation within the Yangon community. First of all, GCSE is British. Internationally, they put an I in front, which is IGCSE. It is a 10th grade exam. Okay, it is not a full college preparatory program. It's designed, it is a certificate of secondary education that kind of allows you to get a job if you want to work in a store. Okay. It is British focused and there is an external exam. If you wanted to go to the university, you need to go beyond that. Now, some universities and colleges will accept you, and then you're going to spend a year or two in what's called a foundation program, which is basically you're finishing up your high school. With AP, these are university level courses that you take in high school. So when you go to the university, you kind of have a leg up. At the same time, universities in the UK are a shorter period of time, but they match AP and A levels end up being the same at the end. Okay, because a lot of students that take lots of APs skip the first year of university. They go in as a sophomore. IGCSE is exactly the same. It's highly marketed. They have amazing marketing. Um, it's an external exam. It's also Cambridge. Actually, the curriculum is very similar to the regular GCSE. So they're almost the same. Okay, next slide.
Okay.
By the way, if you have a question,
All right, so if
raise your hand.
You don't have to, there's only about six of us here, so you don't have to raise your hand, because I don't have I only have the speaker view on my, laptop here, so I can see the slides. So just speak up if you have any questions at any time. So Cam, if I wanted to go to Canada and I came from that IGCSA curriculum,
Yes,
what
CSE.
would I need? Well, yeah.
Well, you need to graduate from an IGCSE school. You would have to have, if I'm correct, five GCSE exams at an ordinary level. At that point, you really, including in Yangon, you need to take what are called A levels or AS. AS is kind of like 11th grade, where the full A level would be like 12th grade. That is the equivalent of an AP course. So if you're going to Canada, they require that you have math at the AS, which is trigonometry, some very basic calculus, or the A level, which is the equivalent of the calculus AB. Okay. They also would ask for other courses where you would take um, the A levels or the ASs. Each university has a different policy. And the link that I gave earlier will take you, and you can check their A level policy, their AP level, or their IB. Keep in mind with A levels, IBs, APs, if you do well, that will also open up scholarship opportunities. And that's, I think, very important. If you just took an IGCSE, some schools might take you, the less competitive ones, but then you're going to be in the foundation programs for a year or so, getting caught up to students that have finished a proper K-12 education. Did that maybe answer the question?
That answered the question for me. Any questions for our three parents out there? And again, this will be YouTubed and shared. The PowerPoint will be shared with our community as well. All right, Cam, one other question. You're coming, want to go to Canada from a US curriculum school. We are a WASC accredited. We're starting the reaccreditation process this year. We started last month. So if you're coming to Canada from a US curriculum school, is it easier, harder, the same? Yada, yada, yada.
Oh, um, if you come from a school that's WASC accredited, they know that the school's a proper school. They don't know the others as well. So in Yangon, there's, if I'm correct, four WASC schools that have proper accreditation, and Talon is one of them. So when they see that, they know it is a proper recognized US diploma. So if I'm correct, the four schools are ISY, YIS, ISM, and I think we are the fourth. And
There's one in Mandalay,
oh,
but
the A1
that's
school.
in
Yeah,
Yangon, there are four.
yeah. Uh, with that, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to go to apply to Canada because they know it's a proper school. And so if you have a high school diploma, you have a AP 2 or 3, they will um, basically say, yeah, you're good to go. With the AP, you don't just have to take the exam, you have to have a score that matches their admissions policy. Okay. I didn't realize that it says AP Statistics does not provide that preparation. Um, is surprising.
Mhm. Okay. All right, well, I'll jump to the next slide. We're going to start in this region with Japan and Thailand, and then we're going to switch over to Europe, and then I'm going to give people highlights of where students are going from the Canadian International School of Hong Kong, so that people get ideas of what universities are out there. So, Cam, I know you were the first director here. I also know you served as a college counselor for a year or two. I'm not
More than
exactly
that, a
sure.
lot more than that. Um, basically, I I wear hats. Now, Steve wears hats in some ways better than I do, especially the fedora. Um, but basically, I've been helping students get to mainly US universities, but not all. So, first of all, when I looked at Japan, Temple University was not on my radar. It's a US university. They've opened up in Japan. And with that, they are asking for 15 credits of university level courses. If you have APs and you have probably about four of them, maybe five, that will easily get you into Temple University. It's a solid school and it's recognized by just about everybody. So that's an option if you're looking for a US university in Asia. That's one of the choices, and there are more. Next slide, please. With that, basically doing some research, there's quite a few universities. Japan, due to their declining population, is wanting people to study in Japan and then continue to like it and stay and work. And so they've started offering English taught degree programs. So you don't need actually any Japanese to apply to many of them. So there's several top universities. And so go ahead, next slide.
Okay.
University of Tokyo, they have programs in English for undergrads. They have liberal arts, international relations. It's fully English. Um, they only have a few areas that are fully English. So it's not one that I actually tend to recommend too much. Kyoto is another one that um, I have not researched too much. They do have English graduate programs. Their undergraduate programs are mostly in Japanese, so that's why I haven't really recommended that. Next slide. I'm waiting for Nagoya, especially. Um, Osaka does offer English language and science, some engineering. Um, and so it's a solid school. And then I don't know this one actually. This is what other people said. They have a good um, leadership program, and that's in, I can't even pronounce that. So go one more. Let's get to Nagoya because that's one of my favorites. There it is. This is a solid school. They really want students from Myanmar. They used to have three Nobel laureates on staff, especially for chemistry. And they're very famous for engineering. They also have science, law, humanities. The reason their engineering program is so good is Toyota is in Nagoya. And so they do internships there. It's a really nice school. What's nice about the Japanese schools is the cost to attend is incredibly reasonable. Tuition is about 10 to 15,000. They have dormitories. Uh, it's subsidized by the Japanese government. So you're paying very reasonable tuition and you're getting world-class education. So Nagoya is one of my favorites, but then there's others, which is Waseda. That's in Tokyo. That's a private school, but it's still quite affordable. And with each one of these, what you want to do is look at their admission page and get the information. Get it from the source. You do not need an agent for any of these. You apply directly to the school. Do not use agents because they get kickbacks from certain schools and they'll say, oh, go here because they make money. Apply direct to the universities. Okay, next slide.
On that front too, we do have three counselors at an international school in Singapore. They don't want me to use their name because they are a for-profit school. But there are three helping out six students, and they do not get kickbacks because they work for a proper WASC accredited school in Singapore. And I have their Hong Kong version that I'll present where they're going as well. So we have counselors, virtual counselors, an hour and a half different. They're at a Canadian international school. That's all I'll say. So they don't specialize in the US. They specialize in the world.
Well,
And they're here to
I'm going to talk about one of them. I won't say the name, but I've known him for, geez, 25 years now. Okay, he is an amazingly he used to be a teacher, phenomenal teacher. He went into the counseling. He is a very ethical, kind human being. And can't say anything more except I have the utmost respect of this individual. He knows his stuff. He is a smart, smart guy. All right, let's move on. Um, there are more. And so if you want to take a look, the last one, I'm not sure I can pronounce it, Ritsumakan, it's known as APU. And they really accept a lot of students that are international. About half the students. They have a campus in Vietnam. They also have scholarships, and it's really good for management, especially. And the language of instruction on all of these schools is basically English. Okay. Next slide. That's just Japan. The admission, if you were to look, all of these schools, except AP, most of them require the SAT. Okay. If you have IB, the exam, you have to have the full diploma for some of the schools. And the high school transcripts have to be sent directly. Okay. You do not need the Japanese exam. That's kind of good. Some of them may ask for TOEFL or the IELTS, and most of them will waive that if you come from Taiwan. They will waive it. Okay. Application periods. Sometimes it's really early. So, for example, it might be too late for some of the school for one of the terms, but they often have an April intake, which means you need to get started in January. I do really like the Japanese schools. We did not include Korea in our PowerPoint, but Korea has some very nice options as well. In English, they're starting to do the same thing. Okay. Next slide.
Okay.
Oh, that one's you. but I can talk about how
I'll
much
take
more.
over the Netherlands. We have one student I just checked with. She said it was a straightforward process. She did get accepted to the Netherlands. However, she's choosing to go to the UK. She wrote me last night so I could be prepared for the Netherlands. And basically, it's one of the most lots of degree programs, both at the bachelor's and master's levels. I'm going to go quickly because there are a lot of universities. There's research universities that focus on engineering. They're all
Oh,
comparable to US universities, and they do love APs in the Netherlands. And the language is all in English for both the bachelor's and the master's levels. There's the University of Amsterdam, located in the heart of Amsterdam. I don't know how to say this one, but there's one that focuses on business, economics, psychology, biomedical science. The Netherlands has a lot, and one of our students was planning to go there, but changed her mind because she got a better scholarship from the UK. Leiden University, wow, the oldest university in the Netherlands. Um,
oh,
there's continual universities with focuses on social science, natural science, law, governance, and this one among top global universities. Cam?
oh, I can't, I've never been able to pronounce Utrecht. That is a
I'm
great
not even trying.
university.
Utrecht.
Great university. It's one to seriously consider. Um, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Utrecht.
Well, that university is serious to consider. All right. Let me take your hand down. And then this university, which I'm not as brave as Cam to try to pronounce it, has about 50% of foreign students. It's got a problem-based approach similar to liberal arts. And one of Steve's favorite programs, psychology, is in there, as is health science. And Cam, do you know the prices for the Netherlands? I should have asked the student from 2025 who got accepted there.
Can't give you exact numbers, and they're all slightly different. I do know it's very reasonable. I want to say it's in the 10 to 15,000 range, and they have student housing, which is quite reasonable as well. So you're not looking at it's often less expensive than the United States for studying.
Okay. All right, and then as we mentioned, there are many more options in the Netherlands. I really wish I asked which university and the price that that student got accepted to. I wrote her yesterday. She wrote me back, and basically said the Netherlands was a super simple process. And again, you apply directly with either them or with one of the three college counselors we have based in Singapore. But you can see we have 12 right now. This one, University of Applied Science, HPO, are very similar to US state colleges. Number 12 with the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences, very good, and they love the AP exams. I don't know how many of these we have, Cam, but we got a lot. The Hague University of Applied Sciences. Again, we will send this out so you can look directly at these options. And I will try to get some information from the student who was accepted about price and where she was accepted. But she said the process was very, very straightforward. So we have this university as well, and by turning it into a PowerPoint, I was able to allow the whether you have Google or not, by having it as a PowerPoint, parents and students will have the ability to hyperlink at any of the hyperlinks that are active. So that's available. Cam, we're going back to Asia. So I'm giving Thailand to you.
Okay.
I'll take all the Europe and Canada.
I was just about to look at some of the schools in the Netherlands using the AP International Recognition website. Um, no, it's so let's go into Thailand. We'll come back. I was trying to get the cost question answered. So in Thailand, I actually had a student that went to Mahidol University, and they had used to have an ASEAN scholarship. There were supposed to be four of them, students from the ASEAN region. They evidently only awarded one, and that was to my former student. They had graduated from there, and they are now doing a master's program or applying in the United States. Okay, so there's two. There's one which is Chulalongkorn, and I'm probably not saying that properly. They have an English program. They offer business, engineering, medicine, international relations. Mahidol, I would say that's actually number one, but one and two are both top quality schools. Mahidol is fully English, okay, where Chulalongkorn has programs in Thai, but Mahidol, fully English. Now, the tuition for Thailand is expensive. If I recall, if you were to pay for it, I want to say it's between $10,000 and $15,000. The advantage of going to Mahidol is that your cost of living is very affordable. It's quite a ways outside the center of Bangkok. So it's really not, when I went there once, go to the very last BTS station and then take a taxi for another 30 minutes, something like that. Good school. They have a hotel management program as well. The instructors are solid. So it's one to consider. Another advantage is it's close to Yangon. So people that don't want their kids to go too far away, here's an option. Okay, next one. Next slide. Okay. Did you skip one by any chance?
I did skip one, but I thought you said next slide. So this is number 3 and number 4.
That's fine. These I actually would, they're not as strong, although Thammasat University, that's outside of Bangkok as well. If you go to Chiang Mai, um, about 40 minutes on the left, that's where that campus is. It is business, they have law, economics, and there was actually a Talon teacher that was going to do a master's program at Thammasat. So it's a
Interesting.
school. And one of the reasons they wanted to do that was just the affordability. And all of these actually have students from the United States as well. At Mahidol, there are students that come from the US, study at Mahidol because it's less expensive and they can get a quality education. Chiang Mai University, um, I would say it's not the same quality as Mahidol. It's the top university in northern Thailand. Some of their programs are in English. Mostly it's the graduate programs. A lot of Burmese go to Chiang Mai University for their masters. Okay. Next. Yeah. Um, these I am not as familiar with. Um, So this came up from a search. I would recommend that you do some research on the quality of these schools. Make sure they're good. I'm not saying they're not. I would say I don't have enough information. I have not researched these schools in depth. Okay.
Yeah.
Assumption University. This is a Catholic university. It's private. The programs are in English. Uh, we had a teacher in the pre-K that actually used to teach at these, not the university, but they also have a secondary program, and they used to teach there. It is in English. They offer business, engineering, communications. It is not the same quality as Chulalongkorn or Mahidol. Those are the top schools academically. Keep going. Next slide. These recruit from Myanmar. They are not the same quality again, but if you wanted to study aviation, you might look at Rangsit. That's right by the airport. With that, they recruit pretty heavily in Myanmar. Actually, they want students. Bangkok University actually is a solid university as well. That's probably number 3 in the country, actually. That's one to consider. And again, a lot of different programs, and a lot of them are in English, which is very important, and reasonable tuition. Okay. And I guess the next, I'll get this one in a moment. Something that's very important is you can always get a degree. It may not be the top school that you were hoping for. And you might look at it and say, I wanted to go to Harvard, great school, but you can't go there now. But if you do really well in an undergraduate program, you can do a master's at Harvard. So it's something to consider. A U.S. university is Webster University. They are in Thailand. They're fully accredited, and you can do 2 years in Thailand, and then some of the programs you go to the U.S. campus. And so you can start at Webster and then transfer. They do have some nice scholarships, by the way, which makes it incredibly affordable for students studying from Myanmar. And so that's one to consider, especially if it has a degree program that matches uh, what you're interested in. It is not the most competitive school, so it's an option for students that maybe have a little bit of difficulty, like at Delft or Cambridge type of thing. Okay, and that I think ends Thailand.
All right, and then with China, I collected information from about basically Hong Kong. I do work with a person from the Canadian International School of Hong Kong. Their director is my mentor. For the first time ever, Cam, I have a mentor because I haven't worked with WASC and I haven't worked in this region. I used to be a mentor when I was in West Africa for 12 years, but since this is my first year in Southeast Asia, I thought I would take advantage of the ERCOS mentorship program. So this is information she shared with me, my mentor, who's the director of the Canadian International School of Hong Kong, that basically Hong Kong was the first or second choice of many of their students at the Canadian International School based on cost, location, the professional accreditations, and that all Hong Kong universities are recognized worldwide. It's the 4-year study similar to the United States. And because Hong Kong was British up until the year that it turned over to China, their admissions consideration is very similar to what you would find in the UK. So there are 4 different kinds of universities that you can find in Hong Kong. Research universities, and then she lists the 3 there: liberal arts universities, technical science focused university. There's 3 there. And then specialized institutions, which would be education university to become a teacher, Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts to become a ballerina, and the Open University of Hong Kong. Each one of these, the college counselors for our seniors will know a lot about university options in Hong Kong. And the graduates from the Canadian International School of Hong Kong, just to give you an idea, before we get into specifics for Europe, which I'll focus on next, the people who graduated over the last 5 years from the Canadian International School of Hong Kong went to these different universities worldwide. Several went to Australia. 1 went to Belgium. Several went to Canada. A few went to, wow, Grenada. That's in the western part of the world. But Germany, France, Finland, Czechoslovakia. So a lot of their graduates are not, they have the option to go to the United States and will get there, but they're really just not choosing it. Hong Kong, 15 chose the Chinese University of Hong Kong. The University of Hong Kong, 48 chose that. Ireland, Italy, Japan, Malta, Netherlands, as Cam was saying, or as we were discussing, there's a lot of options in the Netherlands, New Zealand, China proper, Singapore, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, United Arab Emirates. So all of these are basically places that over the last 5 years, graduates from the Hong Kong Canadian International School of Hong Kong went to, with the United Kingdom being the most plentiful. Cam.
I put it in the chat box. Hong Kong City University, which is one of the reputable schools, you're looking, I think, around $25,000, including room and board.
Okay. But I see you put a lot in there, so I'll make sure I clean the chat box out and put that in the notes. So a lot of great options, and our college counselors who work in Singapore know about all these options as well. And lastly, in the last 5 years, these are where those students went to in the United States. Because in Hong Kong, they do have the option to go to the United States, but they're really not choosing it compared to the UK. So a lot of great options worldwide from that particular school in Hong Kong. And my mentor was able to share that information with me. Just some considerations for AP students when it comes to Europe. The number of APs. Most European universities require a minimum of 3 to 5 AP exam scores. They like it when students have grades of 4 or 5. Subject-specific requirements, if you want to do medicine, engineering, or economics, you will often need specific APs if that's going to be your major. Scholarships, the APs help you, especially for merit-based ones for international students. They're highly competitive. Our 3 college counselors know about that, and they always check the app. So be sure to check with our college counselor for the application deadline. And I just threw this in. Cambridge is one of the most famous, Cambridge, Oxford. To apply for Cambridge, you generally need 5 AP exams with scores of 5. It's a top-notch elite university. It's not for all of our students, but they do like, and they will accept AP exams, but they want 5 5s, which is very challenging. But some of our students actually have been able to do that. And the scores must be related to the chosen major. You do not have to receive the scores when you apply because the AP exams are the first 2 weeks of May, but they will offer you a conditional offer based on predicted grades. If it is high, if it's high, when you apply, the final scores will be needed for admissions confirmation. Cam, over to you.
Well, I wanted to just chime in here. One of the advantages of the AP exams is a lot of students will take several exams in their junior year. Some will do it, take an exam in their 10th grade. Excuse me. And it sounds like we might even offer a course in the 9th grade. So like human geography could be for both 9th and 10th grade students. No issue there. What's the advantage of that is it's not a predicted score. When you're applying, you have proven results. If you're doing the IB, they want predicted scores. If you don't make a certain mark, they will rescind the offer and say, we are no longer going to accept you. So you might have looked at it, IBs on 1 to 7. You might have a score, people predict a 35. Great results. But when all said and done, you actually score a 31. Cambridge will say, nope, you are no longer accepted. And now you're scrambling to find another school. AP, a lot of your scores will have already been done your junior year. So that's an advantage. Something I am partial to the AP, by the way. So I just want to put that prejudice out there.
Oh, thank you, Cam, for the clarification. And we do indeed start APs in grade 9 with 1, human geography. There are 3 potentials, but I think you have to choose between 2. We have AP environmental science, AP bio, and you have to choose that. And AP psychology, which we got Steve back as the original AP psychology teacher from Talent. Steve, can you tell us about some of your scores when you were teaching in Talent a couple of years ago for 5 years?
Well, in the very first year, I had 5 students, AP psychology. They took the exam, and 5 is the top score. 4 of my kids got a 5 and 1 got a 4. And I'd like to say that was because of me, but it was more about the dedication and the motivation, plus the topic that you are covering. Psychology, as I said, is the scientific manual to the human brain and the behavior. And it's something that everybody ought to be taking because, I mean, if you're human and you got a brain, this is something you should have. I also have taught AP Lang and AP Lit. AP Lang is in 11th grade, AP English Language and Composition. This is one that is almost absolutely essential if you're going to have any kind of career where you need to persuade people, and which career doesn't need that? Even if you're a medical personnel and you want to say that this is what I think is the better way to get this done, you need the ability to discuss things that's not nonfiction. So it's really a course about how to argument and how to assess arguments. Finally, AP literature is more than just reading novels and plays, poetry. It's about looking at the human life, our existence, and digging deeper so that when we go out into the world, the larger world, it is our means of understanding that there are complex emotions, motivations, and ways of doing things. So I've got the AP background and I swear by it. Is there a question? Nope. Well, that's me. And I'd say you're looking for a way for your child to develop, then the advanced placement courses will give the appropriate level of challenge that Thailand is willing to give them and help them along to succeed.
Thanks, Steve. And I know you have class in 10 minutes and need this link, so I'm going to go very quickly to the question answering. As top universities, the UK, these ones will all accept AP, and they all have scholarships and fundings for the UK. So Cambridge, Oxford, and we had one student actually apply from the class of 2026 to Oxford, and they had to meet a specific deadline, and they did it. Ireland, AP acceptance at Trinity College, University of Dublin, which is where some people from the Canadian International School of Hong Kong went to. Other European universities that accept AP, and you can look at all their links, is in Italy and in Spain. So plenty of scholarship opportunities for other European universities. It's a lot of these are for the number of APs. Most European universities require a minimum of 3 to 5 AP exam scores, typically with grades of 4 or 5. For subject-specific requirements for like STEAM, specialized degrees, you often need specific AP subjects related to your major. Scholarships, especially merit-based ones for international students, are highly competitive. Once again, if you're a senior, your university counselors can check the deadlines. My final note for today, students can get into universities in Europe, but they're with AP grades of 2 or 3, but they just might not be the elite universities in Europe. And with that, I will open it up. We have 10 final minutes to any questions that anybody has. We have until 10 o'clock today, where I have to turn the Zoom link over to Steve to do his teaching. Sam, our counselor or an AP coordinator, or Talon's original and first AP teacher, Steve.
If they're willing to stick around, they can come
I guess
along.
we did a third.
They can come along to my first class. If
I
they're really interested.
Good to see you,
Cam's
Mrs. Steve.
writing something in the comment.
I just
Good to
asked
see you,
Yes,
Steve.
Lily.
Yeah, go ahead, Lynn.
Oh, it seemed that just me and my sister in the Zoom. So as parents,
Hello. Well, we're gonna YouTube this and send this YouTube out and the slides out. So, and we'll do it for every high school student and every high school parent. But thank you for your family joining us today.
How many schools, universities accept the advanced placement program?
From your link, it seemed like there were 585 from your link worldwide. But that's non-US. So in the US, most schools do, non-US about 600. But for those that don't, being accredited through the United States is helpful. Okay, Steve will do final comments, and then Cam final comments, and then Steve. You can email Kim that you're ready to join, and I'll stay on the link with you, and I'll stop the recording at that time. So final comments from Cam, Steve, Yamin.
I will give a quick one, and that is this to all the parents with your children at Thailand is do always encourage them to think big. I wound up here in Burma because that's what it was when I was looking around the world as where I might wind up. And it brought me, and I've learned a lot by traveling. And of course, that's one of the reasons we want to, not, you don't want to get rid of your kids, but you want them to grow. And so as you look ahead, look at some of these schools, especially in Europe, because I think that would be a real treat for them, but almost anywhere that gets them away and makes them experience life, and university life is an experience. That is where I would be putting my effort, not necessarily in where they go, but what they get when they get there.
All right, Cam, we know it's about 8:30 your time, so final comments?
Very quickly, it's not about getting accepted into 10 different universities. It's about the acceptance of one that is a good fit for the student. Okay, that's really important, is to find the school that's best for them where they are now. They may not be ready for Harvard, Cambridge. They might be ready for a more small school like Mahidol, but then they can do a master's program anywhere they want, depending on how they do in the undergraduate program. So this is just another step in their journey as they try and figure out what they want to do in life. And it's all about finding the place that will take you there. I ended up in Myanmar. My education is what ultimately brought me to Myanmar. And so if I'd gone to a different school, maybe it would have taken me to Myanmar. It might have put me on a different path that would be also really good. But it's just about them finding what works for them. And so we'll encourage people to do that. I was going to actually show you the link. This really will give you information. You can put in the country, and then there's direct links to the different universities, and you can get the information directly from the source. And I encourage people to not listen to somebody that says something that's not true. That's happened too many times in Yangon. And stay away from the agents that get kickbacks. So thank you
I
very
think
much.
that's great.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna jump back. I was just copying the chat notes. And with that, I'm going to get that off. I'm gonna pause the recording. And then Steve, I'll stay on with you.